The ratio between boys and girls in a college is 5:3. If 50 boys leave the college and 50 girls join the college, the ratio becomes 9:7. Find out the number of boys in the college. So it's been given that the ratio between boys and girls is in the form of 5:3, right? So in order to find out the original number of boys and girls, we can multiply by a common factor a, right? So what is going to be the total number of boys present? 5 multiplied by a, which is 5a. And what about the number of girls? 3 multiplied by a, which is 3a, right? Now 50 boys leave the college, which means we can remove 50 from these total number of boys. So 5a minus 50. And also 50 girls are joining the college, which means we can add 50 with this count of girls. So 3a plus 50, right? So once this happens, the ratio becomes 9:7, which means the ratio between these two new counts is given as 9:7, right? Now we know that we can rewrite ratios in terms of fractions. So let's do that. So 5a minus 50 divided by 3a plus 50 is equivalent to 9 divided by 7, right? Now let's find out the value of a by cross multiplication. So if we cross multiply 5a times 7, that is going to give us 35a, and 7 times 50, that is going to give us minus 350, and that is equivalent to 3a times 9, that's going to give us 27a, and 50 times 9, that's going to give us plus 450. Now let's try shifting this to the opposite side. Let's try shifting this to the opposite side. So 8a is equivalent to 800. So what is going to be the value of a? We can divide 8 on both sides. So a will be 100. Now what is the question? What was the number of boys in the college? If we need to find out the original number of boys, there are totally 5 parts, and we know that a is 100. So the initial assumption of the number of boys was 5a. So 5 times 100. The original number of boys is 500, right? In case if the question asks us to find out the number of boys after the change happening, we'll have to find out the count from here, or we can subtract 50 from here, which is going to be 450 boys. Now let's solve the same question in a different approach, which is going to save us a good amount of time. So let's do it. So the ratio between the boys and girls initially is given as 5:3, right? Now 50 boys are leaving the college, so which means we need to remove 50 students from the boys count, and 50 girls are joining the college, which means we need to add 50 girls count to the total number of girls, right? And because of this, the ratio changes to 9:7, right? So what is the change in the number of parts happening with the boys part? 5 becomes 9, which means there is a change of 4 parts. And also in the count of girls, there is a change of 4 parts. 3 becomes 7, right? So which means these two changes are identical to each other. But the problem here is, or the difference here is, here we need to remove 50 and here we need to add 50, right? In such case, we know that we should go for the horizontal addition method. So what is going to be the addition in the horizontal mode? If we look into the sum of the parts in the original number of boys and girls, it's going to be 8 parts, right? Similarly, what is going to be the sum of the parts in case of the new ratio 9 plus 7, which is 16 parts, right? Now we'll have to equalize these two count, right? The total number of parts in the horizontal mode should be made equal. So let's try multiplying 2 by here, which means this will also become 16 parts, right? So if we try that, in the boys ratio, 5 2s are 10. In the girls ratio, it's going to be 2 3s are 6. So the 10:2 ratio becomes 9:7 because of removing 50 boys and because of adding 50 girls. Now observe it. Here there is a change of 1 part. Here there is a change of 1 part. The total parts in the ratio originally is 16. The total parts in the ratio after the change is also 60. Now it's very clear that vertically also the difference is equal and horizontally also the sum of the ratios are equal. right? So now let's assume that one part of the student count is equivalent to 50. And what is the question? Find out the number of boys in the college, right? So there are 10 parts of boys in the college. So 10 multiplied by 50 is going to give us 500 boys. So the initial count of boys is found to be 500. What about the number of girls in case if they ask us? One part of the students is 50 and 6 parts of girls are there. So 6 times 50, that is going to give us 300 girls. In case if the question is to find out the new count of boys and girls, we can remove 50 from 500 and we can add 50 to 300, right? And as we can clearly see, this method is going to save us a very good amount of time in solving these types of questions.